We are stepping back into the early 20th century, a time of turmoil and transformation in Russia, the setting for the Russian Revolution. Russia, then under the autocratic rule of Tsar Nicholas II, was a nation in unrest. As the Tsar held tightly to his power, the rest of the country drowned in discontent, a storm brewing quietly under the surface. The socioeconomic landscape was grim. The rapid industrialization of the time brought with it a new host of problems. The working class faced grueling conditions, their grievances echoing through the factories and across the cities. The gap between the rich and the poor widened alarmingly, adding fuel to the fire of social inequality. The peasants, workers, and marginalized groups were left grappling with poverty and hardship. Their voices, unheard and ignored for too long, were about to rise in a chorus of revolution. As the 20th century dawned, Russia sat on the edge of a radical change. The flames of discontent were fanned by Russia's involvement in World War I and the strain it placed on the country. The toll of the war was heavy, with Russia suffering from numerous military failures and a staggering loss of life. The Russian economy was stretched to its limits, and the hardships that ensued only deepened the resentment towards the Tsar's regime. Within Russia, political instability was rife. Numerous attempts at reform had been made, but all had ended in failure, further eroding confidence in the government. One significant example was the Revolution of 1905, a nationwide wave of social and political unrest that exposed the weaknesses of the Tsarist regime and laid the groundwork for future revolutionary movements. This turbulent period of war, economic struggle, and failed reforms created a perfect storm. The stage was set for a revolt, with the war-weary and discontented population ready for change. In the midst of chaos, revolutionary movements began to take shape. The stage was set for a power shift, and key revolutionary figures and groups emerged from the shadows. Among these were the Bolsheviks, led by Vladimir Lenin, and the Mensheviks, each with their distinct ideologies and visions for a new Russia. As the winds of change blew across the nation, the year 1917 was marked by a series of events that would forever alter the course of history. Protests and strikes became the order of the day, as the Russian populace demanded an end to autocratic rule, economic injustice, and war. The pressure was too great for the Tsar Nicholas II, who was forced to abdicate the throne, marking the end of the Romanov dynasty. In its place, a provisional government was established, promising political reform and a new dawn for the Russian people. The seeds of revolution had been planted, and they were ready to bloom. The October Revolution marked a pivotal moment in Russian history. The power struggle between the provisional government and the Bolsheviks had reached a boiling point. The provisional government, though well-intentioned, was seen as weak and ineffective, failing to address the pressing issues of war, land, and food. In contrast, the Bolsheviks, under the charismatic leadership of Vladimir Lenin, promised peace, land, bread to the war-weary and impoverished masses. Their message resonated, and their ranks swelled. In the quiet of the night on October 25, 1917, the Bolshevik Red Guards stormed the Winter Palace, the seat of the provisional government. It was a relatively bloodless takeover, marking the end of centuries of Tsarist rule and the beginning of the world's first socialist state. Under Lenin's leadership, the Soviet government was established. It was a new chapter for Russia, filled with promise and uncertainty. The Russian Revolution, a seismic event that would shape Russia and the world in ways that are still felt today. In the span of a few short years, Russia was transformed, from socioeconomic unrest to the rise of revolutionary movements, culminating in the seismic October Revolution. The Russian Revolution, a testament to the power of the people and a reminder of the profound impact of socio-political upheaval on the course of history.